All right, here we go. Today we have actor R. Marcus Taylor, best known for playing Suge Knight in Straight Outta Compton. Welcome to VladTV.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Well, it's our first time here. I want to start in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So you grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Well, I was born in Elizabeth, but I was raised in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Okay, got it. And what was Jersey like back then? So we're talking about the 80s and 90s.
Well, for me, it was good and bad. It was hard. Like if you say the wrong thing, you're gonna get touched, or worse. And it's funny because my father was the mayor of our city, so I got a lot of flack for that, being a mayor's son, and a lot of bullies, lots of bullies, and they did some things that will be considered definitely illegal. But back then, you dealt with it, and you didn't snitch. I never snitched. You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, it was good. I enjoyed it. Living there.
I mean, as a kid, did you get in trouble, get arrested, or you were relatively a good kid?
I was a homebody. I didn't have any siblings really, so I'm only child. So my interest, it started in martial arts. I started martial arts in 1981, and what I would do, I would just pretend I was the characters in action films, and I would act out and mimic their martial art, their movements. And actually that got me really good at martial arts, and it helped me with training also.
Okay, I mean, if you talk about 81, you were 5 years old at the time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you were just a little kid basically doing karate.
Yeah, and I wanted an Asian teacher, like from the movies and stuff. But my father's like, nah, you're gonna learn from us, meaning the brothers. We got original fighting black kings in your own town. You're gonna learn with us. And I did. And my first sensei was tough and firm, and we went through, like, before DIFAS, you'll be reported for DIFAS. We had it rough. We got our asses kicked all the time. Being hit with sticks, push-ups on the knuckles all times. You're sweating, sparring with no gloves. So, and this was, I was like 5, you know what I'm saying? And it was tough, but it made me, strong.
Okay. And seeing that you started learning martial arts that young, by the time you started getting into like junior high and high school and so forth, when you got into altercations with other kids, would you just whoop their ass, or did martial arts teach you to like back away from situations like that?
Actually, I was afraid. I was afraid. My first fight I had when I was just starting martial arts, I got my ass kicked easily. And I was like, this doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? But I started, as more time progressed, I learned more fighting, like on a street level martial arts. That's how we were taught how to kill. We were taught how to kill a man. That's how I was taught. And I was always reading magazines. And I remember in the 5th grade, they tried to jump me. And I was at a private school at the time, and the main bully, he came at me, he charged me, and I closed my eyes and I did a spinning heel kick. I put him in the hospital. He was unconscious. His parents wanted to put me in jail, press charges against me. But my father, he's heavily into politics, and he wasn't about that, And my mother, she was a school administrator, and she was the principal of some of the toughest schools in New Jersey, like East Side High, that, and she ain't take no smack.
Okay. Well, and as you got older, you actually started winning tournaments.
Yes. It was my first grown up. I knocked out when I was 12, and it's funny about that too. He was a cop, and after everybody was gone and we were in the locker room, he comes up on me and grabs me and says, "Who do you think you are? You try that crap again, I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. You understand me?" And I said, "Man, you mess with me and I'll tell my daddy, and he'll hurt you." My father was a Vietnam war hero. He's killed people. He's got shot 8 times and blown off a bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a hero, and he don't play that. And my father's he's not like I am. Like, I get my temper from my mother's side. It's the Irish and black in us. They don't take, my mother's side of the family are crazy. But my father was very chill, so I told the cop, I'll tell my daddy, and he left me alone.
Okay. Well, by 2011,
Yeah.
is that when you started getting into acting?
Yes. Well, like my career, my fighting career, I was like I just talked to my coach earlier today. I wasn't fully committed in fighting full time. I mean, I thought I was, and there was a point where I was winning and knocking guys out like easily, and people wouldn't fight me. I tried to find opponents, and at that particular time, nobody wanted to fight me. They were scared because I was like an unknown type, in a sense. I just came out of nowhere and started just whooping ass. But finally I got some fights, and but I wasn't committed. Like the diet, you have to be a full-time fighter to be successful. You have to be. If you're not, you're wasting your time. So you need to find out get a plan, find the right people to train with, find the right manager and promoter, and start slowly, build yourself up. And me, I just wanted to fight the best. It's like I've been in I don't know how many fights. So I'm used to any scenario like combat. I fought like 4 or 5 attackers more than once. I won more than I lost, but I ain't win all those times I got jumped. But I when I did, it was good.
Well, I mean, what you're competing in, which is Muay Thai.
Muay Thai, yes, sir.
Muay Thai, sorry, I mispronounced
it's all
it.
good.
Muay Thai, karate, there's really no money in that. The real money is in boxing or UFC.
Yes.
So why not go into the areas where the real money's at?
And this is the thing that people ask me. I like kicking people in the face. I love, and I learned boxing from like Harold Knight, and Harold Knight was one of Lennox Lewis's assistant trainers, and he was a former champion as well. From my town, there were a lot of boxers, like a lot of boxers in Plainfield, top contenders, world champions, and I learned from them, and I just said, I feel comfortable. I can box anybody, but I so enjoy kicking people in the head. That was my fight name, kick you in the head.
Okay. Well, you can do that in UFC though.
Yeah. And I did 2 non-sanctioned MMA fights in Russia, actually, because I lived in Russia in 2012. And they were tough guys. I won both of those knockouts. I started grappling, like serious grappling in 2002. And like it made me so much a better fighter. Like I mean, so much, everything was easier. Because stand-up I can do all day and I'll take you out. But with grappling, it changes the game. And I like Sambo more, and that's a Russian grappling art. And I like that as well. So I really got this thing about grappling. I'm not a black belt because I always grappled no gi. You know what I'm saying? And now I do gi now. So maybe after 20 years I'll get my black belt. I don't know. But I just fought like the Muay Thai fights and kickboxing. I thought at that time I thought that was the toughest sport. I'm like, you're fighting elbows, knees, you know what I'm saying? Clinching, you're kicking people with your shin. I just thought that was the most brutal sport. But in actuality, boxing, in my judgment, boxing is the toughest sport to do. It is the toughest because all you depend on are these. Just these, nothing, and your athleticism and your footwork, your stance. It's a true art to boxing. It is a science. It's a definite science. And I would train a lot with MMA fighters. I mean, I've trained and sparred with world champions, like from Bellator to UFC. A lot of guys I train with, so I got used to the grappling part, you know what I'm saying? So I guess it just didn't happen quick enough for me.
Okay. Well, but then by 2011, you got into the acting game.
Yeah.
And I think your first TV appearance was it's called Blackjack. It was
yeah, that was my first stunt acting role. Opposite Ving Rhames. I was playing a Middle Eastern terrorist, and he knocks me out. That got canceled after the first episode, so I was like, cool. And when I didn't decide to really pursue acting because honestly, I didn't think I could do it. In my mind, I didn't think I can achieve my dream that I've been doing like every day since I can remember, I learned from watching television, and I'm a good mimic, and I read people, their body language, everything. And I make it my own, pretending. That's what I do. I'm a pretender. And I was like, I've been pretending my whole life, so then my father passed away in 2009, and I think that changed me. It's like once he passed away, I said, I have no more fear. I have no fear. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be a star. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do whatever it takes, no matter what. I'm gonna do it like I'm gonna be urgent about it. You know what I'm saying? And when I started, they see me, I was like over 300 pounds, but I was faster than everybody. You know what I'm saying? I was faster, more agile, more athletic than the other stunt people, and unfortunately, big guys in stunts, you're hardly used, so I said, well, my doing stunts was going to get me into acting. So that's why I started doing auditions. And I got it's like at that period, every audition I did, I got the part.
Well, yeah, over the next few years, he showed up in Blue Bloods,
Oh, yeah.
Person of Interest, Nurse Jackie, Blacklist, Sons of Anarchy, and some other ones that, I'm not mentioning, but you were actually starting to really get work.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wasn't satisfied. I still thought I should get more work. And that was my goal. It's like to get more work. And at the time in New York, for me, they were hiring, their frat brothers or their daughters or sons and, brothers, and they weren't really trying to hire like me. These guys some of these people couldn't even jump 2 inches off the ground, bro. Like, seriously, at 150 pounds, they couldn't jump 2 inches off the damn ground. How is he supposed to do this stunt? It's asinine. It's stupid. So I said, I'm gonna go to LA. So in 2012, I started going to LA and I started to get gigs. It's different in LA. It's different. They like the best. They want the best people for the job. It's not going to be like favoritism or anything like that. So, and I got a lot of work out there too.
Okay, and then your big role came right around 2014, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
So, they're starting to put together Straight Outta Compton,
mm-hmm.
the NWA movie.
Yeah.
And they're casting for Suge Knight.
Yes.
Now, you were bigger at the time, right?
Yeah, at that time I was about 260. And first of all, there were 2 different projects with Suge Knight in it. One of them was John Singleton. He was doing a film regarding I don't know if it was Tupac, but I auditioned for that role first as Suge.
Right. Well, All Eyes on Me, the Tupac film, originally was directed by John Singleton, but then they got into it with the producers where I think
Right.
Singleton wanted to have like a rape scene in prison, and the I think the family or the producers weren't cool with that, so they ended up parting ways. So that was probably what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I tanked on that audition. I totally choked, but I said the next one, I'm gonna do it. Like I had never been so confident. Like I felt more confident doing, auditioning for Suge than fighting, I just did lots of research on Suge. I would watch everything that he was doing, and I just kept studying him. And so every time I went to an audition, I dress up as Suge. I wore the red shirt, the gold chains, the gold watch, sunglasses with a big cigar. And at that time, I didn't smoke cigars or anything, actually. So I had to learn how to smoke cigars. So I did 3 auditions and I got the role.
Okay, so now you're cast as Suge Knight in Straight Outta Compton.
Yes, sir.
And you guys start to film.
Yes, sir.
Part of the filming is actually done in Compton.
Yeah.
And during the filming, early on, someone ends up getting shot.
Yes.
On set.
Well,
not on set, but near the set.
Like the first day of shooting. It was like the first day of shooting. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and you were there when that happened?
No.
Okay, but you heard about it.
Oh yeah, I heard about it as soon as it happened. Bro, I got a death threat. I don't know how they found my phone number, but I got a call before my first day on set. He said, "Yo, you best not go to the set, nigga, cause you done, you dead, man. You ain't gonna be Suge." So I said, "I'll see you there, bro," and I hung up. That was it. I'm like, no, ain't nobody stopping me from my destiny, my goals. No one. So I went, I talked to, they had a on-set acting coach, and they were kind of it's like changing the script like every day. It would be like a different script. So that I think that's why he was there, and I'm glad he was. When we first started, F. Gary Gray, the director, he comes up to me and he tells me, I want you to be a method actor. And at that time, I didn't know what method actor meant. Then he explained it to me. He says, I want you to be Suge on set at all times. I don't care if it's my mother or your mother or I don't care who it is. You be Suge. You feel me? And I was just like, all right. Because my first thought is like, I don't want to be rude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to be rude, but I did what he said. And that's a story in itself, if you want to hear it. I was only supposed to be there for 10 days of shooting, but it was just the first week. I saw Dr. Dre, and Dr. Dre was with DOC, and I met him during the last audition. And then I saw him again. He was like, yo, what's up, Mark? I want you to introduce you to DOC, my brother. And I was like, it's a pleasure. And I kept going. He got upset. I'm talking about downright angry, bro. Like, I think 2 hours later, one of the producer's assistants comes up to me and tells me, like, what did you do? Do you know he's angry, cursing people out in the meetings, saying that this dude, like, he wants you out? So I'm thinking, I'm scared out of my mind. But outside, I'm like, whatever, I gotta go. So, I was shook. By the end of the first, like, end of shooting, it was over. They were some of NWA was there, and F. Gary Gray was there. I said, we're rap, right? He's like, yeah. Listen, can I be real? Like, am I gonna get fired? Because, dude, it took me so long to get here. And I'm like, I don't want, like, yo, this dude is like upset. And then everybody starts laughing. Everybody starts laughing. And then F. Gary Gray, and he's like confident, like, you ain't fired. Then somebody said, nigga had a flashback. Ha, 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 ha. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right. And then a few days later, they wrote me into the entire movie. So I was like there the entire time. So I was like, I think it was a blessing for me to do that, because it got him so mad. Like, he was really angry. You know what I'm saying? I think that maybe tipped in my favor.
I mean, did you ever practice that famous Suge speech at the Soul Train Awards?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. You know what's funny? Actually, one of my best friends, he played Suge in Notorious, Sean Ringo. He played Notorious. And we always talk about that, like, yo, you killed that, and he was like, and then he says it every once in a while, especially if it's me, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with all the Suges. We got tight. It's crazy. We should do a movie, just us three together. It'd be hilarious. I'm not as big as them anymore, but I mean, I'm big enough, you know what I'm saying? So, cause like both those, seriously, I like both the actors because they're like, we can relate by being a big person that might seem intimidating. And they're very intelligent brothers and strong and loyal. You know what I'm saying? So I like them. I got nothing but love for them.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to like pick like a quote that Suge is known for, it would be him on stage. Any artists out there that want to be an artist and stay a star, don't have to worry about the executive producers trying to be all up in the videos, on the record, dancing, come to death row.
I remember when he said it. I remember when he said it back then. I was like, yo, what is going on? And, then Puffy comes out, and then it's crazy. Yeah. That whole thing was like, it was crazy. Tupac getting killed and Biggie getting killed. It was a waste of greatness. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you guys are filming
Yeah.
and you're getting to sort of the end of the filming process.
Yeah.
And then Suge Knight decides to show up on set in Compton.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, the story is a little fuzzy depending on who you talk to, but according to Suge, you know, he wanted to get paid for them using, you know, his likeness, which is you.
Yes.
And according to him, he was supposed to meet Ice Cube or someone to talk about payment. You know, he shows up, no one's there to talk to him. He gets ready to leave. They tell him to come back and talk to whoever. And they go, you know, he goes to Tam's Burgers. And at that point, all hell breaks loose. He shows up in his car. Sloan ends up punching him in the face. He backs up, hits Bone. And then turns back around, runs over Bone again, and then kills his friend Terry Carter, who was actually there to try to smooth the situation over.
Be a mediator,
Yep. So then he eventually turns himself in and, you know, he sits basically in jail for a while as they're going through the court case. When you found out about that, here you are playing Suge, and Suge just showed up on set and killed somebody.
First, like, I got the call from Bone. Bone called me and told me what happened, you know, and I was just like.
Okay, so from Bones, based on that conversation, what exactly did Bone tell you?
He wasn't like specific. He just said, yo, man, Suge killed the dude, ran him over. Like, it's crazy, yo. He was just like, it's just crazy. It was just crazy. And I was speechless. I was just like, dude, this guy keeps, you know, being in bad situations. And I really felt sad for the person that passed and their families. You know what I'm saying? And I think I know he didn't want to kill, that wasn't his purpose to kill him. But like when you felt what was under you, why are you gonna go back? And again, I stop the car, bro. Get out, you know, stop the car. See what's up. But, you know, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, that's one thing I talked with a lot of the people that were, you know, telling me and educating me on what Suge would do or what they thought he would do. I tried not to get, like, know too much. Because there's I found out a lot of stuff, and I wish I didn't know what it was, but I do know. But as you know, I'm just there to I was there to just play him to the best of my ability. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay, what was the craziest story someone told you about Suge that the general public doesn't really know about?
I don't think I should tell you that. I don't think I should tell you that, man.
I mean, there's been a lot of public stories. I mean, from making people drink urine out of a bucket. I heard about that story. That's been out there. Pistol whipping people. You know, there's a room in the back where people get beat up, you know, if they somehow messed up.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you could share that you heard that isn't one of those stories?
Oh, yeah. One in particular, but I really, it's like, you know, when somebody talks to you and like, I'm like old school, like it stays with me. You feel me?
Got it.
Like I'm here to talk about like me. It just, it ain't my story.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Okay. Ultimately, after 3 years, Suge ends up pleading guilty, pleading no contest to voluntary manslaughter. He gets 28 years, 22 years for running over the victim, plus 6 years because it's his third strike. When you heard about that, and this is a very, you know, what I feel is a bit of a dicey kind of situation, because if you take Suge out of that equation and throw like a little old white lady in who just got punched in the face and is just driving recklessly and ends up accidentally killing someone, she would probably get probation, right? But since it's Suge and there's a whole history of this and he's got 2 strikes and, you know, and so forth, he gets 28 years for, you know, what everyone as pretty much established as accidentally killing somebody. He wasn't trying to kill Terry. He may have been trying to kill Bone, but he didn't kill him. He ended up accidentally killing Terry, but he got 28 years for it. When you think about that sentence, do you think it was fair, or do you think that because he's Suge, he got a lot more time?
First of all, I'm not blowing smoke up your butt. This is one of the main reasons I have so much respect for you, because you see the truth. You see what people are doing and what's being done to other people. You know what I mean? And I really I don't like talking about this because I really don't. But if people like you if people were more like you in regards of trying to put yourself in black people's shoes, you understand what I'm saying? If some, some white folk could just try to put themselves in our shoes, it would be such a great, it would build things. Do you understand? It would change the game, man. It wouldn't be racism, But unfortunately, we live in a world that is not fair. And do I think for over 30 years? No. He did not intend to kill him at all. I honestly, it's sad, but I'd rather him do 5 years and pay a crazy fine to the family, like a crazy amount of money to the family. But all that jail time, it's not fair. Now my judgment is not.
Well, yeah, the family ended up suing Suge for I think like $8 million or some huge amount, and ended up in mistrial, essentially.
Yes, yeah.
So we'll see whether the family goes and sues again. But Suge doesn't have that type of money now anyway. So
no,
it's sort of like almost a symbolic kind of lawsuit at this point.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever actually talked to Suge yourself?
Never had the need to.
Got it. Yeah, me neither.
No, you know what?
Me neither.
People would say, you don't need to talk to him. And then people was like, why don't you meet him? Because some of his family members that were at the premiere and saw the film, they loved my performance. You know what I'm saying? For example, the scene where I'm driving with Dre and somebody parks into my spot, the parking spot scene. Mm-hmm. First of all, I'd be pissed off if somebody parked in my spot when it's my spot of my building. I'd be upset. Now, I wouldn't pistol whip the dude, but I'd call security or tell him or ask him to move. Seriously, it's disrespectful. You don't park in somebody else's space. It's disrespectful. In my judgment, that's the only thing I kind of agree with when it comes to Suge. But the other stuff is kind of crazy.
It actually was nominated for Best Writing Original Screenplay at the Academy Awards in 2016. So it was nominated, which is still a big deal.
Yeah. I thought that some of the actors should have got nominated, personally. I personally think the one, I forget his name, but Jason, who played Eazy-E, should have got a nomination. I thought Ice Cube's son should have got a nomination. I just think, I'm like, yo, this first time out, man, and he didn't get it easy. His father made him work for it, and he did an awesome job. So, whatever. It's still, is the best top hip hop, film, about music film, in my judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the next year, you end up playing Suge Knight again
Yeah.
in Michelle A's Surviving Compton biopic.
Yes, sir.
Which, from my understanding, was actually based on my interview with Michelle A.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
That's what I heard. Yeah, if you look at my interview, essentially it's almost damn near scene for scene the way that biopic came together.
That's crazy.
Which I think is dope.
Yeah,
I love
dope.
when interviews turn into bigger projects.
Yeah.
So now you're Suge Knight again.
Yeah. That's okay.
And let me just say this: I'm sure this time around, Dre was not a fan of you being in this particular
this is what
film.
This is what I'm gonna say. First, after the film came out, I think they were doing auditioning for Suge in the Tupac film, and one of them from production called me and asked me if I wanted to be Suge. I just said no. It wouldn't be right. And when I did that, one of the producers from Straight Outta Compton was like, "Yo, thank you. Please don't do that movie. Please don't do that movie. I don't want you to do it." So I didn't do it. I felt loyalty. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, I'm doing Luke Cage. I'm doing other things, and I get an offer to do Michelle's story, Surviving Compton. First, it was a really big payday. It's like triple the amount I got on Straight Outta Compton. It was triple the amount. Triple for a Lifetime film with a limited budget. That was like one of my biggest paydays. So I was like, at the time I was at my old manager. We talked about it. I was like, should I do it? Wouldn't it be foul if I did it? He was like, they don't care about you, man. It's done now. You need to make your money. Yo, they offering you 3 times as much. Come on, man. And it's like, all right, bet. I'm gonna meet with one of the producers from Straight Outta Compton. So he met my former manager, met up with one of the producers, and they had a meeting. And from what I heard, what he told me, that we don't want him. Dr. Dre does not want him to do this movie. You can't do the movie. So my manager at the time said, well, pay him not to do it. I mean, I thought that, I'm like, I would have done that, but he like apparently screamed and said, no, I'm not doing that. He's like, all right, he's gonna do it. And that was that.
That was that.
That was that.
That was that. And that was actually a good project. I like the way it came together. You know, obviously it was very tilted on Michelle A's point of view, but it's her biopic, so she can say what she wants to say.
Yeah. My experience on that set was not like Straight Outta Compton. Straight Outta Compton was a family set. Like everybody, they had soul food every day. I was in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And I got along with like all the guys that were supposed to be my entourage. They were all, bloods, like legit OG bloods. And they embraced me. And I, first, you think like, I don't know these people. These probably gonna want to jack me or something. But no, they embraced me like a brother, and I still talk to them to this day. And Bone was a mentor to me. I mean, that guy, as tough as they come. So I felt good, but the Michelle A. Surviving Compton film, there was a lot of miscommunication. I'll say that. I'm thankful for the producers and the director and the actors, but there was miscommunication, and then there was a time where I went to the set for one scene. It was a courtroom scene, and I wanted to sit in the back area away from people. And one of the cameraman's sons who worked there, he said, you can't go in there. And I was like, why? It's like, you just can't. I mean, meaning like I was there the other day and nobody said it was like restricted. So I didn't understand that. And now mind you, when I do Suge, I'm method. So I was like, look, ma, just tell production that I'll, like, if you need me, I'll be right here. I just need time to myself. So I'm like, just tell them that. And I started to go to the door. Then this kid, he grabbed me. He grabbed my arm. Now, not even me being Suge, in another life or another time, I would have dropped him. You don't, and he grabbed, like literally trying to be forceful. And to me, it was like, you're insane. This guy's, I can't believe he actually just did that. And I'm being Suge. So, but I was like, don't do nothing. Just talk to him. So I turned around and got in his face, forehead to forehead. I was like, are you fucking crazy? You ever touch me, you're done, period. And his father saw that and called the cops on me. Yeah. Then, you know, that was a big thing, you know, and he told, the kid told people that I headbutted him. No, I got in his forehead. It wasn't no headbutt. I got in his forehead to forehead. That was it. Then cops come and they asked me what happened. I told them, oh, you're good. You can go. That was it. But that started something. That kind of started something. I mean, you know, I do feel bad about doing one thing. There was a part where in between takes, I was still method. And I assumed that the lead actress, because she was doing the voice on set, you know, and I grabbed her arm and I took her to the other room with me, and she didn't like that when I'm like, yo, what did I do? And I felt really bad for doing that. I was in the moment, I guess, you know, no excuse. I apologized to her. Then she gave me a talking to. Like, she wasn't afraid of me at all. Like, she's just like, yo, you gotta change some things, man. Like, you already, you know, messing with the kid. And I was like, I didn't do nothing to that kid. Why would he lie? I don't know why he lied, but I didn't do nothing to that kid. I yelled at him, that's it. But then she was telling me other things, what I should do when these situations come about, how to handle it. And I listened. And she had more experience than I did. So I apologized. Things were cool. Then all of a sudden, people were saying that I wrote emails to people threatening them, you know? And I'm like, what is this? What is going on here, you know? So I'm still being Suge. And then I get a call from the head of Sony. And Sony said, we're sending like the head security person there to just talk to you about some things. And then he came the next day. He flew in the next day and we had a conversation. And I told him everything that's been happening. Okay. He said, personally, you didn't do nothing really. Maybe you shouldn't have grabbed the girl like that, but you thought it was, you know, you guys were maybe feeding off each other, still acting. He said, you should apologize. Okay. I was like, I'll apologize. I'll talk to them. And I'm like, too much Suge, you know, for this particular production. It was too much Suge. But at the time, I felt that the only way to be really good was to do the method act. That was the only way. So everybody was cool after I apologized. And, you know, I would hear like people was like, yo, I was really scared of you. For what? I'm like, I'm that intimidating to you guys? You guys really feel shook? All of you? I just thought that was very weird, you know? And I've experienced that many times, you know what I'm saying? But by the end of the production, I was told I did a great job. People were patting me on the back, said, dude, you're so nice. I didn't know you were this nice. And I was like, I'm glad you think I'm nice, because I try to be. It put a bad taste in my mouth. And I think that kind of hurt me. That situation kind of hurt me really with maybe some casting directors or something. I don't know. My agent says like, oh, people will forget that type of stuff, but you know, what can you do? So,
well, that next year, 2017,
yeah,
it seems like your life went kind of crazy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So let's start, at the top of the year, May 2017.
Yeah.
You're arrested and charged with misdemeanor battery after you allegedly assaulted a security guard at a resort in sunny Isles Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I was arguing with my agent. It was midnight, and I'm getting over meniscus surgery, and my wife was waiting on me, and I'm arguing with my agent because I felt like, why are you trying to typecast me? I was like, why can't I play other roles? Why can't I play, doctors, lawyers, anything? Why do I have to always play these drug dealer kingpins or these mean people, And while I was talking to him, the security guard came and said, could you put your foot off the table? And I didn't even talk to him. I was still talking on the phone. And then he left. And I went to the front desk to find out he called the cops on me. So I got pissed. And when I saw him, I pushed him against the wall. You called the cops on me? What kind of brother are you? Are you crazy? And then somebody said, come on, man, let him go. So I let him go. Then he starts swinging at me. I'm blocking all his hits. And then he tries to come at me and he bit me. Bit the skin off. I was like, what the fuck is this type of shit? And I basically, jujitsed him and put him in a compliance hold. So, the reason why I got arrested because I pushed him. But the thing about it is, they were saying that I I knocked the guy out. I threw him 10 feet across the, hotel lobby. I'm like, I didn't do that. Matter of fact, I didn't hit him. You know what I'm saying? I just, the putting, like a totally new spin on it, adding stuff. That that was crazy, and I spent almost 2 days in jail.
Okay, then a few months later, in August of 2017.
Yes, sir.
At Caraba's Italian Grill in Greenbrook, New Jersey.
Yes.
So I'm just going to read according to reports what happened,
and
you can tell me your side of the story.
Of course.
So, according to reports, staff members said that you became aggressive because you were unhappy with the service. The manager told the police that they tried to placate you by giving you 2 free pieces of cheesecake, but you replied with an insult. You allegedly punched the manager in the face. The manager asked you to leave the restaurant and you were escorted off the premises. They said you got into your car, then got back out again and started a physical altercation with the staff. Apparently a woman got involved and you punched the woman on the side of her head. And then you punched another employee in the face who was trying to defend the first employee. And then you punched a third employee. When another employee tried to tackle you, you allegedly hit the man in the face and I gouged him. That's an interesting one. And then I guess there was a video that someone was filming of the whole thing. You were charged with 4 counts of assault, 1 count of criminal mischief, 1 count of disorderly conduct. According to you were acting in self-defense and you were allegedly jumped in the parking lot. Now, your version of the story is what? Okay.
First, this is something that I never told anybody. I I fight, depression. I was diagnosed with clinical depression and extreme anxiety, and bipolar. I actually been that way since I was 9, but I was, back then people didn't, black folk didn't believe in that. You're just lazy. So anyway, going fast forward, the week before that particular time, I was in Atlanta filming Step Up, and I couldn't get my medication, my refills. The CVS pharmacist said that it's not ready. You have to wait another 10 days. And I said, no, I'm supposed to get it now. And, I tried to contact my doctor, but I couldn't reach him. So I went days without my meds, and I was going through withdrawal the next week. And this has happened to me before, but I never act out anything. I just dealt with it. But in this particular case, I didn't handle it good, but I did not hit anyone. I did not punch anyone. Now, I got in the manager's face. He said something nasty to me. I really got in his face. He said, you should leave. And I was like, all right, I'm leaving. But I already got in his face. You feel me? But I left. Now, as soon as I'm walking out, there's like 6, 7 people out there said like, yo, we gonna mess you up, yo. You don't come in here and disrespect. And I started laughing. So when people were coming, I was just jujitsuing them. I was tossing them, like I didn't hit them, because this is the thing. If I hit somebody, they're going to sleep or worse in the hospital. It's happened just about all my life when I decided to fight back. That's what happened. The outcome was more gruesome, so I said, I'm not gonna hit him. I'm just gonna toss him aside and then get to my car. People kept coming and I kept tossing them. And then I tripped off the something in the concrete and I fell. Apparently there was I heard a lady said, ouch. And people tried to get on top and I just pushed them all aside and then went into the car. I never hit that woman. But when it came to the court, I was already considered guilty. When I came there, the judge said, these people are innocent. And I was like, innocent? And then he got really angry when I repeated him and I said, innocent. You talk to me, you're in contempt. You say one more word. And I didn't. It was crazy, but I said, you know what? I told my lawyer, just pay it. Just pay it. I got the money, I'm gonna pay it. I don't want no drama. It's not worth it. I didn't fight it. And that was that.
Well, then I believe that same year, there was a situation at the Middlesex County Bank. So
Yeah.
Once again, according to reports, I'm going to read this to you, then you can tell me your side.
Yeah.
Police said that you had threatened violence against the staff of the bank if they called the police, which allegedly prompted customers to start running out of the bank. When the officers arrived, they said you allegedly squared off in a fighting stance with one officer who tried to pepper spray you, but missed you. You were charged with making terroristic threats, obstruction of justice, and disorderly conduct. And ultimately, I believe you got arrested that day, right?
Yeah.
What happened in that situation?
Well, the withdrawal just went through that because it all happened like within 2 or 3 days of each other. That all those situations happened all at once. I was still dealing with withdrawal. People don't understand about withdrawal. It's suffering. You're suffering. You suffer. It's painful. You feel like you feel sick. Constant throbbing everywhere in your body. You sweating. It just, you have a headache. It just feels terrible. Now, I went to the bank to get a new Visa card. My mother was with me, and somebody was a fan and said, "Yo, you play Suge?" And I was like, "Yes, sir, I did. It's a pleasure to meet you." And then the banker that was supposed to help me, he says, "Oh, you're an actor. Oh, that's great." So 15 minutes goes by. I'm wondering why I don't have my new Visa card. He starts asking me questions. He's asking me questions like, do you do a lot of sex scenes? You do a lot? I kind of thought he was nuts. I'm like, no, really, no, I don't. And then he asked me, "How does your wife feel?" She says it's okay. I bet it's okay, ain't it? I got mad. I said, "Yo, can you just give me my fucking Visa card, dude?" Then he stands up and shouts at me, "You don't talk to me like that. Who are you? Don't ever talk to me like that." Then I stand up. When I stood up, he immediately said, "I'm going to call cops on you. I'm going to call the cops on you." Again, I wish I could make this up, but I just can't. Then I'm just looking around, and my mother's just like shocked. And I'm like, why should I go to jail? I didn't do nothing. I was fed up. I had it. And I said to him, if I have to go to jail, I got to do something illegal. That's the terrorist threat, they said. And when it comes to the cop, first off, the cop was 5'2", right? And he said I was in a stance. I wasn't in a stance. I turned to him because he tried to mace me. But I moved and he missed me. And I just looked at him like he was crazy. I didn't put in a stance. There's 7 cops in the bank. The police department is directly across the street from the bank. Now, I was told by one of the other bankers that they called back the police and said, "There's no problem. It's cool. But you can't do that once you get a call. You got to go." So I went and I just said, "This is total bullshit. I didn't do anything. Why are you doing?" I was just like angry. And I went to jail, and when it was time for me to go to court, I found out what was the articles, reading the articles, what they said, and I'm just like, dude, I didn't hit anybody. I didn't touch anybody. When will people get it right? I was fed up. That year, it was a lot of stuff going on. I felt I was being typecast, and I felt nobody was listening to me or hearing me. I wanted opportunities to do other things. I'm constantly doing, like hood stuff. I'm not a hood. Like I played Suge. I've never been Suge. I'm not that person. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like this is bullshit. I don't deserve to go to, why am I going to jail? And why did the cop say I went I think he was seriously just scared, in my judgment. I just think he was very scared. I think he didn't expect me to dodge the thing, and I turned to him and he looked nervous. So
I mean, from the outside looking in,
yeah.
As someone who had never met you until this day, when you
Yes,
hear
sir.
these types of things,
Yes, sir.
right after playing Suge Knight,
Yes, sir.
it almost appeared that, hey, this guy's taking this Suge character to heart and is actually trying to act like Suge in his real life, almost in the same way that Tupac kind of became Bishop
Yeah.
after playing him in Juice? Like, because from what I understand, Tupac was not like super aggressive and real gangster like that before playing Bishop. But since that became the character that he became the most known for, he took on that persona. Even Biggie said that this one time. He said when they ran into each other at Soul Train Awards and Pac was like acting out, he's like, oh, this is Bishop. This ain't the Pac that I know.
Yeah.
So it appeared to everyone that, hey, this guy's taking the Suge character a little bit too much to heart. I mean, is there any truth in that at all or not at all?
But if I was somebody that's outside looking in, I probably agree with everybody else because it looks really bad. You're playing this larger than life that's supposed to be like a evil type of person, and you're taking it to heart. And I'm like, I'm not like that. If anything, I'm like, I'm very polite, and sometimes people used to take that as weakness, but I can't front and be somebody else. It doesn't work. I'm a guy that likes to be polite to people. I respect people. I respect people's cultures. I rather make friends than enemies. If anything, you should feel happy I'm there because I could protect you if you need me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Like you should feel safe around me. But, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I can't change anybody's opinions. They have to take this is what happened. It's my truth. You can believe in it or you not, but that is what happened. Even though I was going through crazy withdrawal, I could have attacked the banker. I could have gotten his face. I didn't. I restrained myself. I admit pushing the manager and the security guard. I admit that. I wish I never did it. I actually felt ashamed afterwards. I felt I let people down, like my martial arts family. I felt I let them down because I try to live a prosperous and honorable life. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to be righteous. I just want to be righteous, a righteous man to live his life. But it wasn't like that. And I think it kind of hurt me. But by that time, I got into a deep depression, a very deep, dark depression. I was basically in the room for 2 years in the dark. In the dark, like literally, so my wife would come in and after work and, she turned the light on. She's like, you need light. Why are you in bed? I had nothing. I felt like I wasn't worthy of all the hard work I achieved. I felt that. I felt bad. But then I started to think about all of it. And then I said, you know what? I should just get over it and learn from it and be a better person. I'm human. I mean, I'm not a guy, I never, ever, ever looked for trouble. Ever. Trouble just happened to come to me. And a lot of, you hear a lot of brothers or not just people, period, especially the last 10 or so years, they think they hard. They always talk, I'm about to do this to you. I'm the guy that did it. But when you get a certain age, and I'm older now, I don't want to be that. I don't want anybody to be scared of me. I want you to come to me and talk to me. That's what I'm about, man. And I lost 125 pounds. I got into a different place. I didn't go to church for years. Those 2 years I didn't go to church, and when the pandemic hit, I didn't believe in God anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be extra religious. I'm just telling you what happened to me. I didn't believe in God. I'm like, how can God let people and their families die? Their whole families, you know, and then other things, you know, going on in the world, and me trying to snap out of my depression, you know, so, but I did, because I wanted things to change in my life. And in these last 2 years, I got an acting coach, and I've learned a lot. Like, I'm not the same actor since Suge, you know. I'm a totally different actor, totally different. I can be method and turn it off. I know how to now, you know. So and honestly, I got my confidence back. I was still working, but not as much. And when I surrendered myself to a new life and new lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, and, you know, try to be nice. When I turned 20, I decided that I won't fear anybody. And I was winning fights back then, but I was scared. And I just said, I'm not gonna be scared of anybody. I'll fight whoever you want, any time of the day. I want the toughest guy with the toughest attitude, and I want you to sleep on me. I want you to think I can't possibly fight you. And then once they try to knock me out and they realized they couldn't, and I'm coming towards them, I saw the fear in their eyes, and seeing that fear was a drug. But I don't want that drug anymore. I want to live righteously, build things. I want to help people. I want to help people that fight mental illness. And my story isn't unique. It's not unique at all. There's a lot of people my age and older that are still dealing with mental illness, and they will not get tested because they fear. First of all, you know, I hate to say this, but a lot of Black folk don't like going to doctors. They just don't. It's true. So I understand that, but you need to heal yourself. You need to heal your brain, your body, and eventually, you know, your spirit. And if you do that, you help other people. And that's how I really feel. Like I get along with everybody. I mean, most of my friends are white and Russian and Ukraine, and you know, everybody. Martial arts for me made me be broader, and especially lately, I want to love things. I don't want to hate them. I don't want to hate cops no more. And I never thought I'd get over that. Dude, the stuff I used to do when I was in my 20s, when fighters would come to the gym and brag and say they can do this, my coach would want me to fight them and embarrass them. I liked the fear that I gave them. I gave them fear. But then one cop comes to me and says, I'm afraid of you, Marcus. I'm scared. And I can't be scared when I'm going to work the next morning and I'm getting nervous when I go out. And when the cop said that to me, I felt bad and I apologized. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna help you get over it. And I became friends with police. I never thought I could do that. I never thought, honestly, I mean, seriously, me as a Black person, honestly, can be a friend with the cop. I never thought that, but it's possible. Because I surrendered myself. And that's what it's all about. I just want to surround myself with positive people. I want to help people. And I am, and I will. I'm going to do it forever.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, our Marcus Taylor, man, I appreciate you coming in and sharing your story. And I really appreciate the honesty when it comes to the mental illness. I mean, I've had people in my family who were schizophrenic, who had tried to commit suicide, who, you know, were not able to work and so forth. And I know, like, in my community, you know, I grew up Russian.
Yeah. Dude.
You know, we don't believe in mental illness either. It's like, oh, you're just you just need to snap out of it. You need to walk it off. You need to, that's not real. Like, I've heard my mother say that to people with mental illness,
Yeah.
Right in front of me. So I can understand that, how a lot of times these things are sort of just brushed under the table, and it's just stated as, oh, they're just going through something. They're just trying to make an excuse for being an angry person or whatever else. But no, it's a real thing, and medication's a real thing. Being bipolar is a real thing. You see what Kanye has gone through over the years. I've talked to people close to him that have told me, like, he gets off his medication, and that's when you see these crazy, episodes where he quits his world tour live on stage. You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing, man, and I appreciate you actually talking about it and addressing it and taking responsibility for it. And, congratulations on the success you've had, and I think you'll have a lot more success in the future. There's been, outside of Straight Outta Compton, you did Step Up High Water, you did Luke Cage, like you had mentioned, and a bunch of other TV shows.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think you're just getting started. I think we're going to see a very, very dope career for you in the future.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Means a lot. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Until next time.
Indeed.
Peace.
Peace.